chance. Right.
No!
I get it. Now that you're dead, you want to hang out with me.
It was amazing. You're amazing.
So strange.
Howdy folks, and welcome once again to the Spaghetti Theater for the Spaghetti Theater Review, where I'm going to finally review the long-awaited sequel to the 80s classic Beetlejuice. This is Crispin number 5, by the way. Since I included him in my last video by taking him to see his first horror movie, an experience it was. And well, now he just won't leave me the hell alone. So here he is again, Crispin number 5, the legend himself. Try to shut up while I do this, okay, Crispin number 5?
Okay, but no promises. I might be tempted to say Beetlejuice 3 times.
Well, don't, Crispin. Just sit right there and be good. I let him watch Beetlejuice last week after he discovered an old copy of it in my collection. So now he's obsessed with summoning Beetlejuice.
The Black Plague, and I had a pretty good time during that. I've seen The Exorcist about 167 times, and it keeps getting funnier every single time I see it. Nice fucking model!
Beetlejuice!
Crispin, no. I will toss your beanie little ass across the room, okay? Don't even joke about that shit.
Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice!
Attention keyboard shopper, please.
Fuck off, Beetlejuice.
I'm more of a dog person.
Last warning on that, Crispin. You only get one of those. And by the way, this will be the newest movie I reviewed so far. A lot in celebration to the fact that a little over a year ago when they were filming this movie in East Corinth, Vermont, I drove there a bunch of times and watched them film some of it. Mostly Tim Burton directing Jenna Ortega as she rides a bike through Winter River, Connecticut. It was really cool to see the town set up like it was in the original movie, only updated for the times. The House and All, which was just a facade that they tore down after filming. I made 4 videos on the subject, so feel free to check them out if you're interested. So here we go, folks. Beetlejuice 2, or Beetlejuice Beetlejuice. And that's it. It'd be real bad if they had a sequel to this one, because I guess they said fucks to that Beetlejuice Goes Hawaiian shit.
Fucks to that!
So it starts off with a few lines from the song MacArthur's Park, instead of Dale. Which will play a far bigger part in the finale, so we'll get back to that, as it goes right into Danny Elfman's original Beetlejuice theme, upgraded a little bit. As we pass through Winter River, Connecticut, in the middle of the night, so it's kinda hard to see, and ends with Lydia in the attic of the now iconic Deet's house. Yep, it's Lydia, and she's old now. And she's the host of her very own Ghost Hunters-like show called Ghost House!
Bring it on.
And she's not all that together either, because she thinks she sees Beetlejuice in the audience enjoying some popcorn. And can still see dead people. She also has a pill-popping problem with her phony baloney loser of a boyfriend. This guy.
Like we got the same stupid little heart.
But at least she's still rocking the same hairdo she had as a child. Wow, that's dedication. Just like Norman Reedus. So she gets a call from good old Delia Dietz, her stepmom. Who couldn't forget that crazy bitch?
If you don't let me gut out this house and make it my own, I will go insane and I will take you with me!
Who she rushes away to see because it's an emergency apparently.
I have to go.
Probably attacked by her face hugger statue again. Only nope, cut to Delia Dietz at her art studio, and yep, she's still a crazy bitch.
Where have you been? I think I've cried all the water out of my body.
Who breaks the news to Lydia that good old Charles Dietz, her father, is dead. And most of us already know why. Because he was played by actor Jeffrey Jones, a sex offender. Jeffrey. No.
He's dead. Daddy's passed away.
And like most people, I figured that quick explanation would be it for his character. Only nope! Not only does Delia explain how he died, but we get treated to a claymation animated like short to go along with it. where he gets into a plane crash, survives only to have his head bitten off by Jaws. That's what you get for wanting to look at kitty porn, I guess. They could have just said he was beaten to death by demon hobos.
Yeah, that's what you get. What's kitty porn?
Don't ask, Crispin. Back to the movie. That's when this guy leaves the art studio, falls down a manhole, and dies. Only it's kind of hard to care since I don't know who the hell he is. However, we are in the afterlife now, and it's looking pretty much the same. Where this guy shows him directions to the waiting room, and I could tell this was Danny DeVito even from behind. And yup, it's Danny DeVito, everybody. And he's a janitor in the afterlife. Yeah, the afterlife needs janitors. Just like Mars needs moms. I guess it gets dirty down there. There's even an afterlife janitor's closet. Okay. So while buffing the floor, Danny DeVito causes an electrical surge that knocks him on his ass and leaves crates all over the place. Only these crates contain the separated body parts of Monica Bellucci, because that's how she arrived in the afterlife. I guess. Only now she's free, so she grabs a staple gun and staples herself back together. So hey, now she's the live action version of that Nightmare Before Christmas chick, making this guy Beetlejuice, I guess. And then finally her finger. Wait a minute, I recognize that finger. Don't you get it, folks?
There you go.
It's Beetlejuice's ex-wife, and she meant nothing to him. Remember?
I'm telling you, honey, she meant nothing to me. Nothing at all.
So she grabs Danny DeVito and demands to know where Beetlejuice is, the man of the hour. Like he would know. Only he doesn't, so she sucks his soul out. Huh? But he's already dead. Whatever. Cut to this girls' school so we can meet Jenna Ortega's character, Astrid, the daughter of Lydia Dietz. Can't you just see the family resemblance? So she goes into her room and looks at this picture of her dad, suggesting that he's probably dead. But fuck that shit for now and cut to Lydia, Delia, and Dirtbag as they drive to Astrid's school to break the news to her about Charles Dietz passing. So they get there, and Delia Dietz embarrasses the shit out of Astrid by having an episode right there out in front of the school.
Charles! Oh, Charles!
A school with their very own Delia Dietz donated art wing and very own facehugger statue, where Lydia also has another Beetlejuice sighting.
What? No.
When we also see that these two don't have a great mother-daughter relationship.
Okay, can you stop being a freak for like 1 second?
She thinks her mom is a crazy weirdo and does not believe in her ability to see dead people. So cut to... Hey, is that the Maitland's car? It's still down there? At the bottom of the river? Beetlejuice in the afterlife. Working in an office with this guy, Bob. And even after 36 years, he still has a thing for Lydia.
Lydia and I, we have a definite psychic connection. I just need
The weirdo. And he knows that she's been seeing him since he's been doing that shit.
She definitely saw me that last time. I felt a little tingle.
But fuck Beetlejuice for now. We saw him for enough seconds and cut to this guy. It's Willem Dafoe, everybody, yeah! And he's playing Wolf Jackson, a dedicated to his art actor who was killed by a live grenade.
You gotta keep it real.
And now working for the Afterlife Crime Unit.
Wolf Jackson, Afterlife.
Crime units.
Cause they need that shit too, I guess. Meaning, yeah, like in the first Beetlejuice, the Afterlife is very, very, very disorganized. And a lot like real life. All the same problems are there. Anyway, he's here because he's investigating that Monica Bellucci escaping from crates and soul-sucking Danny DeVito shit. And she's coming after you, Mr. Juice.
She's a soul sucker.
Soul-sucking. It sucks, alright.
There's no coming back from that, Mr. Juice.
So cut to the funeral of Charles Eddie Barzone Dietz.
Eddie Barzone, take a good look, because he's the poster child for the next millennium.
Where they sing a rendition of Dea. Aww, nostalgia! Jeffrey Jones loved that song. Then Delia gets to meet the local minister, who rattles off a lot of religious shit to her.
Angels guiding him towards everlasting light, and may his soul fly through the heavenly soar over the fields of Elysium to the glory that is thine.
Which Delia responds to beautifully.
What?
Yeah, what the fuck was that, buddy? Do you even know what you just said? That's when Lydia and Astrid start talking about her dad for a little bit.
You can apparently see any random ghost for your shitty TV show, but the one ghost that actually matters to me, you can't see at all.
Before we cut back to the afterlife for more Jeffrey Jones, everybody. Yeah, you thought that was it with the whole animated segment, but you were wrong. Because now we get to see what's left of Charles Dietz as he walks into this dry cleaners, cause the afterlife has dry cleaning services too, I guess. And he pisses off its owner, this guy.
We are close! I'm sorry to bother you. My name's Charles Dietz.
Still forced to work and run his own business, even though he's dead. What did you do wrong, buddy? But who cares, because Monica Bellucci is there too, and she sucks his soul out, making him dead. Again. I'm just gonna say it. I don't like this soul-sucking shit, Kristen. What the hell? It makes no friggin' sense.
Yeah, they're already dead, damn it.
Where did she even get this power, right? She then steals a dress and uses another power to turn it black. So she did this just to steal a wedding dress? Can't she just zap into one? Beetlejuice doesn't seem to have a problem changing his outfits at random.
We even shop in the same store.
Without having to steal them, but whatever. So cut to Beetlejuice so we can officially find out who the hell Monica Bellucci even is. Besides the director's wife, even though we already know, as Beetlejuice tells the tale of their love, and in a Spanish overdub too. With subtitles, like it was an old Spanish horror movie or something. Neat. And we get to find out who Beetlejuice was when he was alive. And it's what I expected too, pretty much. He's a lowlife grave robber who steals shit off of dead bodies during the plague, all those hundreds of years ago. That's where he met Monica Bellucci's character, Dolores. A cursed woman that he immediately fell in love with, of course, got married and had a traditional Ozzy Osbourne crazy person wedding. Goat sacrifice and all. Aw, sorry goatie. So then they bang, and that's when it's revealed that Dolores is the leader of a soul-sucking death cult. So she was doing this shit when she was alive. Anyway, to stay immortal, she needs to steal Beetlejuice's life and soul. Cause that's how it works. Life, soul life, then official death, I guess. So she poisons Beetlejuice, and out of anger, he chops her to death with an axe.
Ci siamo separati.
And now we know the rest of the story. I bid you good night. And so she's back, and out to get Beetlejuice.
She's pissed.
So cut to the iconic Dietz house, which is wearing a black shroud. Now this is one of the things I was lucky enough to see when I was in Vermont. The Dietz house wearing this shroud. Delia put this up since the house is mourning the death of Charles Dietz as well. So everyone's gathered around for that funeral after party shit, where Lydia's dipshit boyfriend actually tries to befriend Astrid.
I want you to know that I could be that kind of dope dad dude for you, you know?
Only she sees right through his shit and knocks his stupid ass down a few pegs.
We're home for your grandfather.
Oh, did you? Where does it go?
It's long. I didn't memorize it or anything like that.
Right, I'm not falling for your new age, overly emotional, trauma bonding yoga retreat bullshit.
Stop trying to be cool. You suck. DJ guy from Zoolander, which also featured Winona Ryder. Weird. Fun fact, folks. Then outside the house we get to see what's left of the Butterfield family. With this lady who I guess is supposed to be Jane Butterfield's daughter or Jane Butterfield's daughter's daughter. I don't know. Who cares? Delia then thinks she spots good old Maxie Dean.
Is that Maxie Dean?
From the first movie. Well, it's not him anyway, so oh well.
No.
The last time we saw him, he was being shot through the living room ceiling with his wife by Beetlejuice. I always assumed he died. Besides, the actor who played him, Robert Goulet, is no longer alive. May you rest in peace, Robert Goulet. wherever you are, singing your ass off hopefully. So little Jane Butterfield offers her 2 sixers to help her cope, when Shitbag decides to make a speech.
Can I have everyone's attention, please?
Oh, this ought to be good. Where, on the day of her father's wake, asks Lydia to marry him on Halloween, which is 2 days from now.
Let's get married on your favorite holiday. Will you marry me on Halloween?
She's hesitant to answer at first, so he just guilts her into it.
Okay, I guess.
Okay, I guess? Boy, Lydia, when did you become such a pushover? Dump this zero and get with the hero. You know, Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice!
Yeah, right. Only nope, she's marrying this guy now. So Astrid takes off on her bike to get away from all this weirdness when we get to see what has become of downtown Winter River. Now these are the scenes that I got to actually see them film. Jenna Ortega riding her bike across this covered bridge, which I got to do first, by the way. In your face, Jenna Ortega, only Tim Burton wasn't filming me do it. I was filming me. My camera was like tilted up on a rock somewhere. And she rides right by what used to be Alec Baldwin's hardware store, Maitland's Hardware. It's a coffee shop now, and there's a few other new buildings too. One thing that I did notice is that they digitally added fake roofs to these facades. I was wondering how they would take care of that. It looks good though. Don't even notice it. Only once she rides past the girls' school, which is in the other direction by the way, it goes from being filmed in Vermont to being filmed somewhere in Massachusetts. Since that's pretty much it for the town of East Corinth, Vermont, besides the general store at the end of the road. So this part was filmed St. Elsewhere. Snap. As Astrid then gets nearly hit by a car, a truck, then crashes through a fence and slams into this tree, where the boy inside the treehouse in it climbs down to check on this Dorkleton.
Where have you been all my life?
And the two become instant friends. Hang out for a spell, where she fills this kid in on her crazy life, with a dead tree hugger for a father, and a self-respectless Lydia for a mother. And he's even heard of the great Lydia Dietz. Well yeah, who hasn't? She was all over the news for shoplifting. Snap. Only Astrid has to go now and get back to the craziness that is her family. Only don't be a stranger, Wednesday Addams.
Well, listen, I'll be here tomorrow if you want to break from the insanity.
Even though I think you could do better than this doofus. So cut to Dolores, who, but enough for her, cut to Willem Dafoe's character, Hart Johnson. I mean, Wolf Jackson.
You gotta keep it real.
At the scene of that dry cleaner's killing, I guess, where he deducts that they need to find Beetlejuice before Dolores gets to him first, and forces him to marry her again before killing him. Again, because that's what she wants to do. I guess.
You keep me real.
Keep it real.
You gotta keep it real.
I guess. So cut to Beetlejuice, who's hiding out and staying low, with Bob and a gang, back in that office he works in, reading the paper and using Bob as a decoy, in case Dolores does show up.
That way she'd suck your soul while I make my getaway.
So back to the paper, where Beetlejuice reads that Charles Dietz has died, and we're treated to a full-on snapshot of circa 1988 Jeffrey Jones. Boy, he manages to be all over this movie without actually being in it. So, with this new information, Beetlejuice now has a plan.
Now's my chance.
And check out this side article here. Serial killer arrives and comes face to face with many of his victims. Well, that's Afterlife irony for you. We all just go to the same place. So cut to the details, where Delia is still being a pain in the friggin' ass.
What? Why? No!
Weirdo that she is. And it's here that we get to find out whatever happened to Adam and Barbara Maitland from the first movie.
Maybe Mom can get the ghost in the attic to give us a hand.
Adam and Barbara Maitland. They're not here anymore. No, we found a loophole and they moved on.
They found a loophole and moved on.
How convenient.
You stole the thoughts right out of my head, Jenna Ortega. Thank you. So cut to this outside shot of the house, where we get to see that Delia still has her face hugger statue. Only not for long, because this prop was actually stolen during the production of this film, along with some windows and a lamppost. I wonder who did it. So you finally decided to cave in, huh, Tim Burton? They never did close the case on that one, did they, Columbo? So cut to the iconic Dietz house attic, where Astrid uncovers Adam Maitland's sweet-ass model of the town, and this Beetlejuice flyer. Then this box marked Richard, Astrid's dad and Lydia's ex. A box of memories. That's when Lydia steps in to revisit old haunts. And we get to learn a little bit more about this dad character, who liked Mario Brava horror films, like Kill Baby Kill.
Dad's favorite movie.
That's when Lydia finds that Beetlejuice flyer and freaks the hell out. Warns Astrid about even saying his name.
Don't ever say that name.
And then puts the attic off limits.
In fact, this attic is off limits.
Cause he's definitely around. Well, at least his sign is. Where the hell's Dante's Inferno? So cut to Delia and Lydia real quick, as she shows her the Beetlejuice flyer. And the two have a heart-to-heart too.
Where's the obnoxious little goth girl who tormented me all those years ago?
I guess. But fuck that shit and cut to Astrid, who's visiting Dorkleton again. His name is Jeremy, by the way. And we briefly get to meet his parents, whose faces they don't even show, since Dad's way too into the wheel. Hopefully not that hairdo guy version. It's say Jack or no Jack, baby. So, once in his bedroom, Astrid discovers that he has his very own copy of that handbook for the recently deceased.
I got that at a yard sale in town.
Which he found at a yard sale. So, it's that easy to acquire one of these? Hell, even I have one, see? I found it at the second-hand shop at the local town dump. So then they both dump on what loser parents they both have. Except for Mr. Wonderful, of course, Astrid's dead dad. If he's anything less than a Mountie from due south, I'm gonna be pissed. So Jeremy McDweebleton invites Astrid over for Halloween night.
Why don't you come over?
And she agrees. So cut to Lydia at the Deets house, where they're planning that phony baloney wedding. When Lydia starts getting Beetlejuice ads on her phone. Something they couldn't do in the original movie. So Lydia runs to the attic and starts yelling at the model, since she's tired of this Beetlejuice shit.
I want you out of my life.
So her arrogant ass fiance comes in and she tells him all about this Beetlejuice character from her childhood.
A trickster demon terrorized my entire family and tried to force me to marry him.
Which he doesn't believe a word of course, and just thinks she's crazy.
If you say his name 3 times, he will appear.
And to prove her wrong, says Beetlejuice's name 3 times.
Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice.
When whoop, they're sucked down into the model, just like in the other movie. Then this trapdoor opens up and they both fall through this psychedelic hole. And land right in Beetlejuice's couples counselor office. He's certified in that too. That's where we're treated to a lot of classic Beetlejuice shit.
Dig deep and spill your guts, okay? Who wants to go first?
Only with some upgraded effects.
I will.
And some newer, grosser Beetlejuice stuff. Like this murderous baby Beetlejuice, who he happily abuses. Oh, Beetlejuice. So annoyed with this craziness, Lydia zaps him back home.
Home, home, home!
And that's when we're treated to Beetlejuice lip-syncing this 90s hit.
Wherever you go, whatever you do.
He still got it. Way to go, Michael Keaton. So cut to Delia and these poisonous snakes that she purchased. Only they've been defanged and are perfectly safe, she thinks.
They've been defanged. Guaranteed harmless.
And plans on using them in some sort of ritual to honor the passing of her husband. Because she's crazy. And so Lydia plans on getting the hell out of Winter River right now.
You got your wish. We're leaving.
Only you can't go yet because Astrid has a date with this stud.
I have plans tomorrow with this boy that I met.
So Delia boards up the attic and Lydia drops off Astrid at Jeremy McDoofleberry's house. Where she even gets a look at Captain Poindexter.
He's cute.
Cute? I guess, Lydia. What do I know? So once in his bedroom, we see that he's dressed up as James Dean.
My parents think I look more like Richie from Happy Days.
Happy Days? I don't think she knows that reference. I'm surprised you do. Anyway, Astrid is dressed up as the lady who discovered radiation and then died from getting radiation poisoning.
Yeah, work was killing her. She didn't even realize it.
How ironic. And instead of doing trick or treat, he'd rather stay up here in his bedroom and make out with her. Cause why the hell not, I guess. And now they're floating in midair, which is when Astrid discovers that Jeremy the nerd is a ghost from the late 90s.
You're a ghost.
All the signs were there, folks, and I gotta admit, I didn't even figure it out at first. I'm stupid. Him having a copy of the book for the recently deceased should have been a dead giveaway. So now Astrid knows that ghosts are a thing, and she can see them, just like her mother.
My mom's telling the truth. Shit.
Apparently he fell out of his treehouse and broke his goofy little neck. And the treehouse is as far as he can go before it turns into a sandworm-filled Saturn moon, I guess. And all of this really excites Jeremy too, who finds Astrid quite...
You're amazing.
Amazing.
You're amazing.
You're amazing.
It was amazing.
I'm amazing.
You're amazing.
Why do I say amazing like that? Why do I say amazing?
You're amazing.
Amazing.
It was amazing.
Only Astrid is quick to point out that this relationship can't go anywhere, since he's dead and she's not.
You're dead. I'm alive. That doesn't make any sense.
Only nope, there's another loophole, and Goofus has discovered it in the book for the recently deceased.
I've found a way to come back. It's all in this book. I can only do it with the help of a living person.
You can literally give him his life back. Isn't that amazing? Isn't that amazing?
It was amazing.
You're amazing.
You're amazing.
And in return, she would be able to see her father again.
You get to see your dad.
So snap, cut back to Lydia, who's talking to Jane Butterfield too. The legend of whatever happened to original Miss Butterfield, Otho and Dick Cavett. That's where she finds out that Astrid is actually at the house of Jeremy Fraser, not Dorkleton. Huh. The murder house that she's been trying to sell.
Murder house?
Yeah, it turns out that he killed his parents and fell out of that treehouse when the cops came up to get him. So he's a lying sack of nerdlinger shit, and is more than likely just using Astrid. So Lydia bails the hell out of there to go after Astrid. So cut to Astrid, as evil nerd boy draws a door on the wall, and knocks on it 3 times so they can go into the afterlife. But not until she reads this passage out of the book, so that it's okay for her to enter the afterlife. So Lydia gets there, and gets to meet the parents. And now we get to see why they hid their faces before. They're ghosts too. And even though he's dead, Dad still gets to watch the wheel. Solve that bitch, Dad! So Lydia runs upstairs and just misses them as they enter the afterlife. Too late. So she grabs the handbook and takes the hell off. So cut to the afterlife waiting room, where Charles Dietz shows up. Yep, more Jeffrey Jones stuff.
My wife is gonna flame me if I don't get home soon.
How is he able to talk, by the way, when he doesn't even have a head? Could it be... Why do I even ask myself these questions at this point? So he takes his seat next to this dead surfer bum. Shaka bra! Cut to Delia at the cemetery, doing her seance for Charles with those snakes when they bite her and she dies. So I guess they were poisonous after all. So cut back to Lydia as she gets back to the iconic Dietz attic and calls out Beetlejuice.
Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice!
Yay!
You are excited about that.
Mm-hmm.
Wearing your little Beetlejuice suit and all.
Yeah!
And he makes the same entrance by cracking the model and rising right out of it. And announcing himself.
The juice is loose.
He certainly is.
So he explains to Lydia that Astrid traded places with Jeremy the super loser.
She decided to trade Last little boy. He gets to come back while she's stuck on the other side permanently.
And now she has a one-way ticket to the Soul Train to the other side.
Soul Train.
The afterlife, I guess.
The great beyond. Soul Train.
So Lydia makes a signed deal with Beetlejuice that if he helps her get Astrid out of the afterlife,
I'll marry you if you help me save my daughter.
she'll marry his filthy ass so he can get out of marrying Dolores again and be with his true love, Lydia.
I'm gonna make you so happy.
I guess. Again. So in order to break back into the afterlife and take Lydia along, a living person, Beetlejuice draws a bomb in the wall and just blows his way in. Right into his office, with Bob in the gang. Beetlejuice then orders Bob to stand guard here and not let anyone through this hole.
Bob, you and the boys stand guard. Nobody gets through.
Only the second he's gone, they'll rush into that escape into the real world and out of the afterlife. So look out, Winter River, because here come a bunch of shrunken head guys. And I mean it. They scare off this dipshit and run right out of the house and all over the place. So cut to Willem Dafoe's character again, Brick Thompson. I mean, Wolf Blitzer. No, Wolf Jackson. Keeping it real.
You gotta keep it real. You gotta keep it real.
Who's on alert with this whole breach into the afterlife that Beetlejuice just caused. And puts all of his men on it as he goes into overacting speech mode overload.
This is what you've been training your entire deaths for.
So cut to Delia's dead ass, who's now in that afterlife waiting room, next to this unfortunate tank guy, who tells her to get in line like everybody else. This is the disorganized DMV afterlife. Get with it. So fuck that shit for now, and cut over to Astrid and Boyd Dorkelsmith.
I feel amazing.
Where he explains to Astrid that he sorta lied to her. And that whole passage that she read to get her in here was actually her signing her life over to him, so he could become free from being dead, I guess.
You agreed to swap your life for mine.
So he totally used her, and she's fucked now. And not in the good way. And is hauled off to that soul train to the other side.
Soul train.
Where she spots her dead dad working at one of the ticket windows. What did he do to deserve that? I thought he was a decent tree hugger of a guy. Now he's forced to work the afterlife subway system.
Soul train.
Whatever. He does abandon his post at least to go after her. But fuck that shit and cut over to Beetlejuice's office, where Dolores shows up looking for his ass. Only he's not there. But Bob is, hiding under the desk for dear life. Wouldn't want to get soul sucked and die again. So cut to Beetlejuice and Lydia as he points her in the direction of the soul train.
The soul train.
And then just takes off in the other direction to go take a leak, I guess. Right as Dolores arrives. Whoa, that was close. You just missed him, Dolores. So cut to that subway again so we can see the soul train to the other side.
All aboard! The soul train!
Soul train.
Where it's a dance-off, baby. Boy, is everyone excited about this. Except for Astrid, who's not quite ready to die yet. Just as Lydia arrives, and she's forced danced right onto the train. Lydia too. That's when the afterlife police arrive, so they just make a run for it. Right out this door and plop right onto one of Saturn's moons again.
Hey, that's Saturn! Right, so we must be on one of its moons!
So look out for sandworms. And yup, there they are. So run, of course. And they're saved by Dad and his dead piranha-covered ass. So they all have coffee together in the afterlife break room and get to reunite real quick like. But we barely know this guy, so let's move it along already when another alarm goes off. And Dad decides that he's gonna get them back home.
You can't leave until Astrid gets your life back.
Right after they get Astrid's life back. Somehow. So cut to Willem Dafoe's character again. Match action. I mean, Wolf Jackson.
You gotta keep it real. You gotta keep it real.
Keeping it real, folks, as he updates us on that hole that Beetlejuice made into the real world. Well, it's been fixed. The breach has been sealed. But all those shrunken heads guys are still on the loose on the streets of Winter River, right? That would be a movie in itself. So Dafoe interrogates Bob since Beetlejuice doesn't seem to be around.
Where's Beetlejuice?
And they want his hole making ass. So cut to Lydia's stupid fiance on the streets of Winter River. Still traumatized after seeing those shrunken head guys. So he's picked up by Father Bern Gorman. So he can take him to the church since tonight's the wedding night. Oh yeah, that shit. So cut back to Delia. Whew, fucking shit. This movie is all over the place, isn't it? That's what happens when you wait 36 years to make a sequel. Anyway, in desperation, she says Beetlejuice 3 times.
Beetlejuice. Beetlejuice.
To get his help, and he arrives, and I do love his response to this shit.
I get it. Now that you're dead, you want to hang out with me.
Yeah, now that you're dead, he's not so bad, huh? So is that why he just took off when he sent Lydia to the Soul Train? He somehow knew that Delia was gonna summon him? Okay. So she wants Beetlejuice to help her find everyone's favorite character, Charles Dietz, her husband. Only not until she helps him find Lydia. So they can get married, of course. So fuck it. Cut back to Bob and let's see what the hell he's up to. As Dolores steps in to interrogate him now, on her search for Beetlejuice. Only he doesn't know, so yup, she soul sucks him. Killing poor Bob for good. Fucking stupid. Who's already dead and had a shrunken head. Leave him the fuck alone. So cut to Fuckstick McGraw, who almost makes it back to the real world. as Dad tries to stop him.
Don't snap that passport!
You're too late, man.
Only he's too late. Or is he? Nope, cause Beetlejuice is the ticket booth guy now. And sends this little dork straight to hell, canceling the deal he made with Astrid. You're amazing. I'm amazing. I'm dead and I'm amazing.
You're amazing.
So that's that, I guess. Pretty easy fix. I guess.
Next.
So Dad then shows him the way back home, which comes out right in that cemetery where they had the funeral, the big church, just in time for Lydia's wedding.
Oh my god, my wedding!
Oh right, I keep forgetting about that shit. She's marrying that douche. Hey, wait a minute. I thought time worked differently in the afterlife, so that when they arrived back in the living world, like weeks or even months would have gone by. Right? According to the lore of the first movie.
2 hours!
Oh, Barbara, you are not going to believe what?
That's how long you were gone!
How long do you suppose we were waiting there?
3 months.
Who cares? It's Beetlejuice. We'll do whatever the fuck we want. Lydia and Astrid have made up, so all's good there.
Thank you for saving my life. I'm so sorry I never believed that you saw ghosts, and I'm just sorry for all of it.
Time to marry this weasel. So they run over to the church, just in time too. Her shitbag fiance has even filled the church with a bunch of influencers.
Who are all these people?
It's just a couple of influencers. Nobody under 5 million followers.
With no less than 5 million subs. Guess I'm not invited. Probably for the best. When poof, out of nowhere, Beetlejuice arrives with Delia. It's time for Lydia to get married.
Alright, beat it.
Only not to this shitbag, to Beetlejuice.
Part of the deal is you can never ever say my name, ever.
They made a deal, so this other wedding is off.
Wow. Awkward.
Beetlejuice then goes back into couples counseling mode and sticks his prick with some Acme level truth serum. And he comes clean on just what kind of a selfish dick he really is.
I always thought your whole act was bullshit. I never believed in ghosts, spirits, or any of it. Money! I knew I could make more as your husband than I could as your manager.
He's all about money, and everything he told Lydia was a lie. And after hearing this, Lydia has no problem using Beetlejuice's boxing glove to punch this guy out. Then, for some privacy, Beetlejuice sucks all of those influencers into their stupid phones. He sort of enjoys it too. I like the look on his face here. Like and subscribe, guys, if you can ever get out of your phones. That's when the Padre tries to make a break for it in this scene. That's the equivalent to Otho trying to bail out in the first movie.
Not so fast, brown boy. We're gonna have some laughs.
Where you going, Padre?
So it's time to start this wedding. Hit MacArthur Park by Richard Harris.
Honey, I've got one more surprise. This one's from the heart.
If anything, this is my favorite part of the movie. Their usage of the song MacArthur Park. It's a long song and they pretty much play the whole damn thing. So this scene acts as a music video for the song. When I was a teenager, I would listen to this oldies station that would play this song a lot. And I just loved it. It was such a strange song. And it's sung by Richard Harris, who modern audiences probably best know as Original Dumbledore from Harry Potter. I would tell some people about this song, they wouldn't even believe me. I think I was making it up. A song about a guy leaving his cake out in the rain? That's not true. So everyone's back in their wedding clothes from the first movie. Beetlejuice in his tux and Lydia in her red dress. As everyone else is just forced to play along. When, like in the song, the cake rolls out as the cool green icing is flowing down. Because someone left the cake out in the rain. And this is what it would look like, folks. And is Beetlejuice crying? It just keeps going too. As we see all the loves from Beetlejuice's life, from Dolores to child Lydia to this dog. Who's this dog? Is that the dog from the first movie that caused Alec Baldwin and Gina Davis's car to crash off the bridge? And upon further inspection, I can see that no, this dog is far shaggier, and the color scheme is way different. But is that dog's actually a love of Beetlejuice's life? And it's right about then that Willem Dafoe and the Afterlife police show up.
You gotta keep it real. You gotta keep it real.
To put a stop to all this disorganized afterlife shit spilling over into the real world as Beetlejuice and Lydia start floating. when a church is raided from all ends. Only Beetlejuice makes them all literally freeze. Before referencing Hawaii 5-0.
Welcome, Dano.
Thanks, Big Chicken. You'll never get me, McGarrett. That's when Dolores finally shows up. Why the hell not? Everyone else is here.
What the Later, fucker.
That's when Astrid grabs the handbook for the recently deceased, while Beetlejuice tries to pawn off Lydia's loser fiance on Dolores. You're perfect for each other, see? They're in love. Then, being the clever one of this group, Astrid uses the handbook and finds instructions on how to bring a sandworm into the real world, which turns Beetlejuice into a Spanish-speaking bullfighter. And, in tune with the first movie, the sandworm eats Dolores and shitbag and goes right back to the moon of Saturn. So he's dead now, I guess. Have fun explaining his disappearance to the real-life cops, as the Padre takes his chance again and bails the hell out of it. Then Astrid, being the smart one again, uses the afterlife legalities she learned to ruin Beetlejuice's contract with Lydia.
Yet you illegally brought my mom into the afterlife. According to that book, that contract is null and void.
The 600-year age gap was a little bit much for me.
So Lydia sends him back as he just blows up and pops like a balloon, but not after delivering one final Beetlejuice line.
They got married in Vegas.
Way to go, Beetlejuice! You were great. Say what you will about him, but life's a lot more interesting with Beetlejuice around. I bet those years between 1988 and 2024 were nothing compared to the excitement that Beetlejuice brought into your lives. But oh well, he's gone now.
They got married in Vegas.
Should've got married in Vegas. I love it. Everything he says is perfect. So Defoe unfreezes and cleans shit up. Like taking Delia's ass back to the afterlife cause she's dead, remember? And no one seems all that choked up about it.
Your work's gonna go up, will you?
Oh well, at least her art will be worth something now. So keep it real, Willem Dafoe's character. Peace out.
You gotta keep it real.
Everyone's gone now. Even those influencers who got sucked into their phones. Are they dead too? Like the douchebag fiance? Who cares? The writers sure didn't. So cut to that Soul Train again.
The Soul Train. Soul Train.
Where Delia is reunited with Charles Dietz, her husband. The real hero of this film. As they take the Soul Train together to the other side. So cut to Lydia. As she does the final episode of her ghost hunting show. Ghost House! Then cut to jolly old England, where Lydia and Astrid visit. And Astrid spots this young, hot vampire, marries him that day, and gives birth to his child. Only the baby is actually that evil Beetlejuice baby again. And it straight out murders the doctors and crawls all over the place before landing right on Astrid's lap, which she finds funny. When snap, Lydia wakes up and all that weird shit we just saw was all a dream. Only now Lydia is sleeping with Beetlejuice when snap! That was all a dream. The end. Hit the credits to another rendition of MacArthur Park. And that was the long-awaited sequel to Beetlejuice. Weird ass ending, but what are you gonna do? Which leads me into my final thoughts on this all over the fucking place sequel. The first one never left the town, let alone the details. So many new characters to follow and so much happening at once. Cut to this, cut to that. What's Charles Dietz up to? It wasn't awful though. I did like it. It was funny. I think a sequel might have been better if it had come out before 1995. Maybe. I guess since I saw them filming those scenes in Vermont, I thought that more of it would take place around the town and the house. I did have my own idea for a sequel that of course could have been better. Maybe. In my opinion, of course. One of my subscribers pointed out how you could have done without Monica Bellucci's character, or maybe at least just used her differently. I didn't like the soul-sucking shit. It has no place in the afterlife. But when it comes down to it, in the end, I think Tim Burton did a pretty good job. It can't be easy to make a sequel to a movie that was a hit for you 36 years ago. And please, everybody, it will never be what the original was. It just can't. And that's fine because the title character did his job just beautifully. A round of applause for the great Michael Keaton.
Yay! Keaton.
Soul Train.
Who is able to play this character as well now as he did back in 1988. He didn't miss a beat.
I get it. Now that you're dead, you want to hang out with me.
But my favorite part is still their usage of Richard Harris's MacArthur Park and the cake being left out in the rain. That and the fact that I got to wander around the set for Winter River before they tore it all down again. That was a once-in-a-lifetime experience, unless they make a part 3. And with that, I'll end my look at the Beetlejuice sequel. Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. A big thanks once again to all of my subscribers and comment leavers. It's always nice to hear from you. So adios for now, folks, and I'll see you at the theater. Right, Crispin? You like the spaghetti theater, right?
It's a nice fucking model. Honk, honk.
Funny, Crispin. I knew this movie would warp your fragile little mind. Let's go, Crispin. We can watch Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice when it comes out.
You two kids picked me. You didn't have to, but you picked me. It makes me want to kiss you guys. Come on. Come on. Give you a All right, let's learn to throw your voice. Fool your friends. Fun and party.
You're amazing.
So